Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Coming off a Saturday, really proud of our football team. I know I talked about that post game. The way they battled here the back half of the season. Continuing to respond as adversity shows up. Really showing the heart, the character of this team. I thought that was a really impressive performance. We came out, we started fast. We know something that we needed to do. Boston College was a really good team. I mean, you look at defensively, it was third best ranked defense, scoring wise. I thought we came out, had a really good plan, executed at a high level. You guys we're continuing to score in the red zone when we get down there. Some things we have to continue to clean up. The third down efficiency was not where we wanted it to be, but I thought that we had a good mix of explosive plays, and we were 100% with ball security. Didn't turn the ball over, which was a critical factor in that game. Defensively, I like the way that we're playing. Very aggressive. That was the team that had not given up much pressure, to their quarterback. And you saw in the game. I mean, he's a talented young man. Extends plays. Was able to do some things, with his legs. But I thought our defensive front did an extraordinary job. Really pleased with the way their defensive backfield played. They did get a couple plays on us, but all in all, I thought we were able to be very efficient with our defensive passing game. Special teams wise, I thought our punt team was phenomenal. I thought that was one of the game-changing units. Being able to flip the field. I think Alex has been extraordinary. Was able to pin him inside the 10 multiple times. I like that part of what we've been able to do. Our kickoff and kickoff return unit have to continue to improve. I mean, that's something that has to be a strength for us. We've had some missed opportunities. We gave up the one big return. We got to make sure that we're just the detail and whether it's kick location, coverage lanes. Then we've had a couple missed opportunities to be able to get the ball down. And that's where we got to continue to grow and continue to work those fundamentals. But all in all, I thought our guys, they did battle. It went down to the last play. I was really pleased with how they were able to execute some of the things that we work week in and week out with our time management, being able to finish the game the way that we did. But we got back home, and it has been all focused on this week. It's a huge week for our program, for this team. To be able to get into week 12, especially how it started with an opportunity to play for one more. This rivalry is one of the great rivalries in all of college football, and for our football team, for these seniors, for everybody involved in the program. I mean, it's going to be a great challenge, but a great opportunity for us. And we talk about being able to put the identity on display. I think that's something that you've seen throughout the course of this year. I think you see the identity, the culture. We've talked about building that foundation for what this program is going to stand for, and the way these guys have responded, the toughness that they've shown. I'm just proud of them, and we've got to have all hands on deck for this game and for the game on Saturday, and make sure that we finish the season the way that we want it to be remembered. And I'm excited for what the way the guys came to work yesterday, with practice last night, with meetings. There is a great sense of urgency, and there needs to be. And we're looking forward to a great week of prep and the opportunity that's ahead.
All right. First will be Ira, over to your right.
Florida changed their defensive coordinator a couple weeks ago. I was wondering if you've seen any change on that side, and also, with what's going on there with the head coaching change during the season, how does that change preparation at all?
For us, I mean, it's I've talked to you throughout the season, regardless of who we play. I mean, the emphasis has to be on us. Now, there's going to be some different things. Anytime you play callers that change. I mean, there's going to be unique and different elements of things that you might see. You get to this point of the season too. I mean, they were a little different in their defensive personnel this last game against Missouri. Just who they had out there. Sometimes that's injury based. Sometimes that might be who's calling it, and just a thought process, or even just a specific game plan for who somebody's playing. So there's not a big enough there's not enough evidence to say, well, this is going to be a drastic change of what we're going to see or what we could see. I mean, we've got to focus on ourselves. There could be a variety of different looks that we see offensively, defensively. I mean, you come into this game and nothing's off the table. I mean, you got to come out there and you got to make sure that you're playing disciplined football, that you're able to go out there and you execute regardless of what you see. And we got to play our best game. So I mean, all of that, we don't have any control of it. We control ourselves and how we prepare and what we're willing to put into it. And that is the message to our team.
We'll go to the front row for Kurt.
I don't know how frequently in your time as head coach you've had one of your assistant coaches get to break the rock. I know you did last year. I guess what's that speak to about Coach Fuller? I know it's kind of been a long road to get where the defense is now, but just the pretty remarkable in-season improvement that side of the ball has had this year.
Yeah, I mean they've done a great job, and it's the consistency that we see from the staff, from the work, the fundamentals, making sure that we're developing, and also some of the adjustments that we've made to be able to play to the personnel as we continue to get to know our football team, and that's what I've been most pleased with, is that you see that growth throughout the course of the season. I think you see it big picture in all aspects of what we're trying to do, but specifically defensively, I'm really pleased to the growth and development that we're seeing. And I came in after the game, and I had a player in mind that was going to break it, and I had a couple of defensive players came up and they asked me to let Coach Fuller break the rock. And that as a coach, when you have your players that stand up for you in that, and it was a joyful moment to see. And I know. I mean, Coach Fuller, he pushes, and he's one that it's always about that constant development. Making sure that the details, those things are all in place, and for the players to want that to be the case. I mean, it was I think it speaks a lot to their belief in him.
We'll go back to Ira.
We've been talking about Jermaine and Kier all season, but that was a good offensive line they went up against and just completely dominated in the first half. Were you guys even surprised a little bit to the level that they were playing in that game?
We challenged the defensive front this last week, and obviously those two guys have played at a very high level. We also put them in some challenging situations, and we needed them to rise to the occasion. Just with what we were trying to do, and some of the routes that we were going to have to try to match off, and especially against that quarterback. There had not been a whole lot of guys that had gotten that type of pressure on him, but sometimes you put great challenges out there to see a great response, and our guys responded, and they went out and played at a very high level. In all reality, there probably could have been a couple more sacks that we could have finished on, but that's what you like to see. You show belief, you show confidence in what you're going to ask your players to do, and when you see them respond to that level, it was impressive, and that they did a great job. And a lot of focus goes on the two bookends, and they definitely deserve that recognition, but also some really good performances around them to allow that to take place as well.
All right, stay over there for Corey.
Mike, I don't remember seeing it called before, but the right tackle being, I guess they ruled that Darius wasn't on the line of scrimmage. Have you had that happen to you before? 2 times. I think they called it the play before too, but they didn't call his number. I don't. What did they tell you? Did you ask for an explanation? And did Darius wonder, hey coach, what did I do wrong? I line up like that all the time.
I mean, it's those are things that throughout the course of the game, we had a warning on the other side. For the other side of the line, which is usually kind of how it takes place, because those are all judgments. When you get to the alignments, the rule is that the helmet has to be breaking the hip of the center, and so that's where, on the first call, I did not have a good perspective of it. So I made sure that I got down on the line for the second one, and it's once again a judgment call that was made, and we've got to make sure that that we're in alignment, but those are, I'll let my feelings be hurt on it, and that's it was a critical play. I mean, that was a critical play, a 4th down conversion, but at the end of the day, we're going to continue to make sure that we are playing within the rules, and try not to leave any of those judgment calls in the hands of an official.
Kenny talked last week about how, just smarter Jordan is now about understanding the offense, what you guys are trying to accomplish. But it seems like maybe even the skill position guys are getting that well, like how they're setting up blocks and things like that. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just confidence in the growth of our entire team. I mean, we have a lot of newcomers on offense. I mean, you look at running back position, receivers, tight ends. I mean, there's guys that haven't played a whole lot of football here at Florida State, prior to this last year, but you're seeing the growth, you're seeing the steps, the confidence of what they're being asked to do and how it all plays off of each other. Yes, it starts at the quarterback positions, and I think that you see that confidence in Jordan and what he's seeing, going through those progressions, read the efficiency in the passing game, something I'm really pleased with. And we've kind of seen those steps here over the last 3 or 4 weeks, even in games where we didn't end up with success in the game. You saw some of those steps in the intermediate game, and being able to have some of those base down passes. And I thought that was something that was big in the game on Saturday, is that we were extremely efficient and effective, which allows a little bit more space, and we were able to hit some some of the run game off of it. But when you have the success we had early in the season running the football, people are going to make adjustments. You're not going to see, you're going to get more, we had more one high, we had, a squeeze in the box, trying to tighten things up. We've had some challenges there, just with personnel on the offensive front of having to move guys around. And so being able to be efficient and to push the ball down the field and create some of those explosive plays in the passing game, it really opens up the offense. And I think Jordan's done a really nice job with that. And he's going to have to do the same thing here on Saturday for us to have a chance to be successful.
All right, we'll go back to Kurt on the front row.
Darius and Jared, I know both got hurt late in that game. I guess where are they at? Where you're able to say coming into the week?
Yeah, in all honesty, it was a lot better, evaluation yesterday than what I thought, coming out of the game. So we'll see how it progresses through the week. But we're in a much better place than what I really expected, for what we thought during the game.
All right, next will be Aslan in the back right corner.
Defense had a pretty strong fourth quarter against Clemson with the scoop and score fumble. They had a 3-and-out after that. Miami game, the drive before you guys go ahead, they get you the ball back after you kick the field goal. The big stop they had against Boston College in the game. Does that affect the calculus in your head going forward in terms of how you can manage a fourth quarter, knowing that your defense has been able to kind of rise up in these late game situations?
Yeah, I think all factors play in, and I like seeing our defense finish games, and that's something that we had. I guess the Clemson game was really the last, the last one where it was the last drive where we gave up a couple things that were penalties that showed up, but I like the way that our guys are playing to finish, and it was huge in Miami. It was obviously huge in Boston College, and they have a great deal of confidence in what they can do and what they can achieve throughout the when crunch time it shows up. And that's where, like, Akeem Dent was such a big play on that fourth down. Yes, we got pressure, quarterback threw the ball up. It's kind of funny, you look through the course of the week. We did a 2-minute drill last week in practice, and Akeem had an opportunity to go high point and pick off the ball, and in all reality it actually bounced off of his hands and into a receiver's hands that resulted in a score. To see him respond in the moment where it all counted in the game, that was a huge confidence boost for him. You're seeing those positive developments that are occurring through the experience that they're having, whether it's on the field in a game or in practice. These guys, they're truly growing, and that's we're seeing that week in and week out, and we've got to continue to get better here this week. But I do have a lot of confidence in what they will be able to do throughout the course of the game, but especially during crunch time.
All right, next will be Allison in the back left.
Hey Coach, this game obviously didn't happen last year because of COVID, but to have it back, what does it mean for college football? It's one of the reasons why you come to Florida State.
Oh, absolutely, and it's one of the great games that college football provides, and to be able to be a part of it, I'm just excited would be an understatement. Been looking forward to this one. We talked earlier in the year just the opportunity to coach in the Miami game, and now to have this one with so much for us. And is our record where we want it to be? No, but throughout this season, there's been a lot of lessons that have been learned, and to be able to put ourselves in a position to be able to gain one more is big, and it's big for our players. This is you know, it's like I told them, they put themselves in a position to be remembered. And, you know, we talk about building a foundation. You know, we're going to do this the right way. And it's all aspects of our program, on the field, off the field, and everything that we're doing, trying to build these young men to show what they can do. And, you know I talked a little bit about that in post game, but, you know, for all that building up on top of the rivalry, on top of the, you know, all the pageantry that goes around this game and this moment, I mean, I'm excited for what this week holds, and you know, our guys, they feel that too. There was a lot of bounce coming off of you know, we've had a couple, you know, back-to-back very physical games. You know, even last week, you know, to not have the emotional letdown of, you know, coming off the Miami game. Now it's all about just continuing to get better, and that, I think, speaks to part of the culture that we're trying to establish. The foundation that's being built is that, you know, yes, I mean, the emotions, the excitement, all those things in the moment, but can you be controlled and still work, you know, focus on your improvement? And this week we have to be better. This week we've got to go out there and we've got to play the best game we played this year, because that's the standard. But to also be able to do that with this opponent, and it's going to be an exciting week in prep, and definitely looking forward to it.
Go back to the right for Ira.
Obviously, everybody's in favor of player safety, but do you feel like the targeting rule and the way it's being applied is having the desired effect?
I mean, it's, you know, it's you know, we all want player safety, and, you know, it is, but, you know, also the opportunity, I mean, it just to play this game, it's so limited. And you know, I hated it for Jamie, you know, their Saturday. I mean, there was no ill intent. You know, the quarterback slides late, you know, he's going in to make contact, you know, actually pulls his helmet out of, but to know where he's trying to strike a quarterback, then a late slide. So, you know, it's like one of those things, it's still a judgment call for the unnecessary roughness if that's going to be called. And that, even with that is a 50-50 on how that's going to be officiated. But, you know, I think that if there is absolute intent, you know, that's one thing. When it's a questionable call, it's just so hard, because you're pulling, you know, a game away from a young man that, you know, is with the right intentions. You know, if you know, that's hard, and I think that's something that we can always continue to evaluate. Player safety has to be one. It has to be one. But, you know, also just understanding, you know, intent and, you know, how those things happen throughout the course of the game. I think, you know, we just got to continue to evaluate.
Go to the front row for Kurt.
I don't know if you had any kind of relationship with Coach Mullen. This will be the, I think, third time in 4 years it's been the interim coach on one side of the Florida State-Florida game. I guess, what's that speak to about the volatility, the expectations of college football at this level?
I mean, it's, you know, it is definitely a new age when you look at, you know, how things progress with different timelines, you know, the expectations. You know, you come to Florida State to do something special, to build something special, and that's why, you know, we're here, and to be able to represent a university, you know, it's a tremendous honor to do that. You look at, you know, just the way things are operating throughout college football. I mean, it's, you know, it's different, and you know, I'm excited for the opportunity I have in front of me. You know, I'm excited about the opportunity for this game. But you know, you got to make every day count, and you know, that's why when I came here, you know, I talked about the way that this is going to be done, because, you know, we will achieve success, and when we get there, we got to make sure that it's built the right way, so that not only when you achieve it, that you can sustain it. And that's been a huge focus for you know, us through the process, and that's what I've really been pleased with our team and our growth, because, you know, at the end of the day, every day matters. It is, you know, the development, the growth, you know, all the things that these kids are doing, you know, building that identity. It's really been a joy to see them as they've grown throughout this year. But yeah, you got to maximize every day that you have. And you know, I can't really comment on any other program or any other situation, but you know, that's why it's so important. All the things that we're doing, you know, on the field, off the field, recruiting, all aspects, making sure we get the right fit for Florida State to help get us back to where we're trying to go.
All right, we'll stay over there for Corey.
Yeah, Mike, when it comes back to the targeting, I don't know anybody that's for the ejection. I don't know that coaches are for it, fans certainly aren't, media isn't. So why is it still a thing now, it seems like 10 years later, that it's an automatic ejection when it's not at the NFL level?
Yeah, I would say, if there is malicious intent, then I would be for it.
Right.
I think you got to protect these players, and but I do believe that there are levels. Like it's, we're still. Our job is to teach these kids how to play the game, and I think when you look at the way that the guys tackle, there's been so many improvements around college football to help promote that. I think when the intent's not there, and when it's one of those bang bang plays or the body level and positioning changes, it's hard to take away a game or an opportunity for these kids, because it's different than any other sport, and you're so limited on what you get and how quick it goes, and I just think that's something that we've got to keep player safety number one, but also making sure that we're not taking away opportunities when there's things that we can continue to do that also it can be very proactive.
All right, Aslan?
Coach, week 1, you guys go to overtime against a top 10 team. Have you guys recaptured that sort of ability, or is this a team that's better than week 1?
No, I think we've improved throughout the course of the season, and each game is in its own right. Where you have to be in that moment, and every matchup's different. Everything that we're doing and growing and working to do, it has to improve, and it has. And I think we're a much better team than we were at the beginning part of the season. Mentally, physically, how we handle situations is much improved, and we're growing up. We're still a young team. You have some inexperienced players, in some areas. We've had a lot of shuffling that we've had to do throughout the lineup. But you see guys that are growing in confidence through each of those experiences. So I definitely think we have improved.
All right, we're gonna go 2 more. Ira?
One of the hallmarks of your Memphis teams was just how hard they played. Other teams talk about how hard they competed, how physical they were. Are you starting to see that from this team? And I know that's maybe hard to quantify, but is it something you can just see?
Yeah, it's something I believe we've improved as much in that area from a year ago to now as probably any, and it's why you see the response. It's why you see regardless of where you are in the course of the game, whether it was early in the season, here late in the season, up or down, these guys are going to fight. They're going to continue to push. I think that shows up for how we train, the expectations of our players. Like I said, it really becomes part of their identity of who they are, and you guys that love playing this game, they love who they get to do it with, they love who they represent, and that's one of the things that I think is important. And we've tried to pull back and bring back a lot of the past players and connect all those great teams and even guys that played maybe years where it wasn't as good, for them for our players to hear the passion about this program and understanding it's so much bigger than just ourselves. We get to represent something special, and once a Knoll, always a Knoll, and our guys 10, 15, 20 years from now, they are gonna have these moments that they're gonna be able to reflect back with their friends, with their teammates, and they're gonna be able to talk about the experience. And when you talk and you hear from the former players, the identity, the things that held it all together were number one, it was work. These guys worked hard. They pushed hard. It was challenging every single day. The toughest competition happened out there on that practice field, but that's how they grew together. And that's where they built confidence together and what they could overcome and what they could accomplish together. And secondly was the relationship. And they cared about each other. And when you have that, that's what makes being a part of a team special. And so being able to kind of connect that for our current players with the past players, we want that to be a part of the identity. It doesn't matter where you are in the course of the game. The standard is going to be the standard, and how we play and how we operate and how we respond, whether we're up or whether we're down. And we're not a finished product. We have a lot of work we have to continue to do in those areas, but you're starting to see those things show up in a positive manner, which I think is, like I mentioned after the game, it's it's helping change even the mindset and the lives of these guys as they move forward.
All right, last one, Corey.
Yeah, Mike, did you guys send a letter of apology to that DC punt returner for that vicious personal foul you guys had on that play?
Well, you want to get me on the penalties, don't you?
No, in all honesty, the recourse, I'm not trying to be the referee guy, but do you have any recourse when it comes to plays you don't agree with? Do you send film in to the ACC? Have you heard back from them, number one? And then my second question, which is a more important question, a lot of coaches treat games like this and say it doesn't matter, it's a faceless opponent, we're concentrating on ourselves. You seem to lean in and embrace these rivalry games. I guess maybe just talk about that and why that means so much to you. But if you could address what you do for the bad, or the questionable calls first.
Or Clark, make sure that's.
Sorry.
No, I mean, we sent them in, and there were, like I said after the game, you can see my reaction in the game, and when I watched film, I had some similar reactions. So, there are a lot of judgment calls that get, brought up throughout the game. And we sent in a number of clips, have not heard back. But then you also look, we talk to our players and talk about it as a staff. We get a crew. I mean, in 2 years, we've had 6 games that we've had over 10 penalties. We've had the same crew 4 times that have been a part of that. And so some crews are gonna be a little bit more active in games. That's our information that we need to know, and we've gotta make sure that we're doing things as good as possible to not let that be, a deciding factor or and trust me, we made mistakes in that game. We gotta be more disciplined. But at the end of the day, that's, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for everybody in times, and we definitely sent some in. So to the second question, I love the rivalries. I mean, it's what I've been looking forward to. And I get up for every game, every day, every practice. I want that to be, I want that to, truly speak to who we are. Just because it doesn't matter who you play. The performance, it doesn't matter who you play. It's whether you prepare to be your best in that moment. But the very first day of fall camp, I talk about 2 teams. Right? I talk about Miami and I talk about this one. And everybody wants to win this game, because it will be a game that is remembered for the rest of your life, regardless of who the coach is, regardless of what it does not, what was the outcome. And everything that you do throughout the course of the season is going to prepare you for the moment. And you've either done the job, you've learned from the experiences, and you can go apply it for 60 minutes during that game, or you don't. And you have to live with the results. And so do I want our guys to be at an all-time high come Saturday? Absolutely. Because I know what this game means. And if you don't get up for this one, then go somewhere else. Go do something else, because it is not for you. Right? But you watch the history, you watch tradition, you know what it means to the university, you know what it means to the fan base. Man, this is why you play. This is why you coach, and it's to get guys for this moment. But everything we've done up to this point has prepared us. We'll either take advantage of it or we won't. And come Saturday at noon, man, I promise you, there's going to be some emotions on that field. But can we maintain our composure? Can we make sure we go out there and not get distracted by all the things that are not going to make the impact? And if we can do that, man, it will be. It's going to be an exciting game to be a part of, and I want them to embrace that. I want them to enjoy it. I know I talked about it as on the last one. I mean, we're going to that 4th quarter. You saw both teams standing face to face. That was something, and it's what makes college football, because of the passion, because of the opportunities that we have. But we want to make sure we do it the right way. And I really like the development I've seen from this football team and the growth that we've had. We get opportunity number 12 in Gainesville come Saturday, and I just want them to be their best, because they will remember this one, I promise.
All right.
Thank you, guys.